love keeps pulling us on through. So many ways that I could say I love you, you, I don't want to. So many ways that I could say I need you, you, I don't have to. I've been all around, you've been all around. Tell me, have you found any better than our supper?
Welcome to KRML Presents Live in the Vines at Folktale Winery. I'm your host here at KRML, Jeff White, introducing you to these fine ladies, Larkin Poe. Welcome to Folktale.
Thank you so much.
I don't really know where to start with you guys because you guys have a big story. You're just starting to really make a lot of noise in radio and other facets, but you guys have been at this for 10 years now.
We have been. We started out making music as little kids. We started playing classical violin and piano, and over the years we've kind of morphed from classical music into Americana and bluegrass and classic rock, and now we kind of have settled on roots rock and roll, and this is the first time that we've ever been making music. We released our first debut record last year, but making music that can kind of get on the radio, so it's like a new experience for us.
But you guys didn't do this to get on the radio.
No.
It just kind of happened that way.
No, and it's funny, I would say that we got into this because we enjoyed performing, that we have been exclusively like a road dog band for the last 10 years almost.
So road dogging it for 10 years.
Yes.
But playing professionally together since you were 14, is that right?
Yeah, I guess we started touring full-time when Rebecca was 15, I was 16.
Wow.
By accident.
By accident.
Yeah.
This was just something you guys loved, and this organically just grew into what's now turned into a pretty good career, huh?
So far, we've been lucky.
We started out because we played on NPR, Prairie Home Companion. We were
Garrison
on the
Keillor.
Teen Talent Competition, and we ended up winning that. So people assumed we were like a professional band. And so we, straight out of the box, just toured full-time that year. And before we knew it, it was a career.
Before we knew it.
And along the way, you guys have ended up playing with a ton of musicians. One in particular, Mr. Elvis Costello, took quite an interest in you guys.
Yeah. We met Elvis Costello very much by accident. I think we were both very much aware of his records and him as an artist, but we didn't really know him by sight. So we were on stage at this festival in Merlefest, which is in North Carolina, and there was an all-star jam, and everyone was up just singing and playing gospel songs, and he was singing, what was he singing?
Angel Band,
Angel
I think.
Band. And we knew the words, and we just kind of sidled up and just started singing harmonies alongside, and
He liked it.
and he said, in retrospect, we've had conversations about it now, and he was like, I just was very much weirded out by the level of maturity that you kids had as, obviously little children, and here you were, very confident and very precocious, and I was very charmed.
Now that you're exploring more and more of your own sound, what does that feel like to know that you have a pass? That to hey, we're gonna go this way, we're gonna go that way. We might be dark, we might be happy.
I mean, ultimately, you always want to please your fans. You want people to like what you're doing, but I think the braver and the more appropriate move for an artist, if you call yourself an artist, is to not be limited by the things you've done and not to be afraid to forge ahead. I mean, because we started Larkin Poe, we were fairly light, indie folk pop, we hadn't really learned the power of distortion or dissonance, and so to have gone over the past 4 years from where we started to where we currently exist, which is a lot heavier, a lot darker, a lot more Southern Gothic, and dipping more into the traditional source music of the South. I know that we've definitely pissed off fans, and fans will be on our face and you have changed, you sacrificed your sweetness, and we're well,
We kind of like it a little bit.
it's well, that's what we're supposed to, if we don't make you feel uncomfortable, then why are we doing what we're doing? At a certain point, that's what you turn to art for. You go to look at, in the museum, you go to see a piece of art you don't understand because it's interesting, and you have to look at it for, an hour, 2 hours to understand it, and that's what I think people are missing with records. It's the new Alabama Shakes record. I had to listen to it 4 or 5 times until I finally got it, and then once it got it, I was oh my God, I adore this. And I think,
how many
times?
times have you listened to a record and you just have hated it the first time you listened to it, and then on listen number 4 you're like, this is
my
brilliant.
favorite thing in the world.
I love this.
so is everybody else, and we all paid our dues. Do, 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 do. Don't try to lie. Don't try to tell me. Don't try to buy me. Don't try to tell me. No, don't. I know what I am. I know what I need. Don't try to tell me.
We search out opportunities that make us feel really uncomfortable.
That
'Cause
sounds
that
fun.
is where we grow the most. When we first started playing with Elvis Costello, it made us really, really uncomfortable and anxious, and it was just terrible.
I don't think you'd be human if it didn't.
No, and even just the way
It was
because
amazing in the end.
in the end, and not even that we've even reached an end yet, though.
No,
Because
of
like
course not.
I would say it's just different challenges of overcoming your sense of awkwardness or discomfort. Because I mean, when you're on stage with somebody and they decide to like improvise or like live on the dangerous side and just change something up, and then everyone is like, suddenly everyone's on their toes, and you have this opportunity for something special to happen that you create this unrest that the audience senses, everyone on stage senses. I think that you need to find that and chase after that in songwriting and performing and in every aspect of the art, for sure.
I think it's well, if we want to look to jazz, that's when it gets good. Is when it is unpredictable. And sometimes that happens within a performance, sometimes that happens within a career. That sounds like what you guys are exploring. Trying to. Well, you're doing a good job. I love that you are pushing that quite a bit, but also you guys do hearken back to those roots that you have. In fact, the name, the genesis of Larkin Poe is actually very much within the family tree.
Yes, Larkin Poe is the name of our great-grandfather. And our favorite bit about Larkin Poe, even beyond him having been a very interesting historian, he was a supply train driver during the Civil War, and a bit of a historian himself, that there's written documentation of his perspective on the different battles that happened in Georgia and Tennessee. But he was a distant cousin of Edgar Allan Poe. And so we really like that connection, having grown up being absolutely massively obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe's work, to find that we were distantly somehow connected.
Yeah, we didn't find out till our teens. Yeah.
So you guys just reached another milestone. You released an album.
We did.
That's out there right now. Folks that have listened to KRML have heard Stubborn Love and Don't quite a bit. What's that like now that you're out there playing it to people?
It's interesting.
It is, but I think that the artist is always impatient. You're already ready for the next thing. So I think that we are looking forward, though still trying to really appreciate where we are, which is new territory. Getting played on the radio and really supporting a record is new for us, but we're loving it.
What's that like to support a record live? Because often what happens in the studio, it's laborious. It can at times be contrived because it has to be. What's it like what we're going to see tonight here in the Barrel Room at Folktale? What's it like when you guys can just open that up?
I think it's a fairly different experience. I think most bands deal with this issue. It's very hard at times to capture the essence of a live performance in a recording. And so even the fact that we released Kin last year, and even since having released the record, these songs have grown and changed so much. And they're not better, they're just different than the record. But I think it provides a very different perspective. When folks buy the record and fall in love with the songs and then come and see them live, they'll see a different flavor on it, which for us keeps it fresh. We're able to kind of reinvent them a little bit, stretch them out, play with them.
Yeah, I mean, the songs are recorded, but then they also have their own life when they're played live. And they've really... yeah.
Well, I encourage people to go check it out. People can learn a lot more. You got a great website. It's larkinpoe.com. Nice and simple. Thank you for that. That's always great to see it. You can check out Ken and see some of the performance tonight here at Folktale.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much for coming on. We really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us.
Oh, our pleasure. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Seasons came and changed the time. When I grew up, I called him mine. He would always laugh and say, oh, remember when we used to play bang, bang. I shot you down, bang, bang. You hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. I used to shoot you down. Music playing, people say, just for me, the church bells ring. Oh, 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 now he's gone, and I don't know why. To this day, sometimes I cry. He never took the time to lie. He never took the goddamn time to lie, bang, bang. He shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot, bang, bang. He shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot me Thank you all so much. We love you. Good night.